Having a solid core or a strong core that's active throughout the day is important to establish a solid foundation in the way that your body moves and the way that your body works. So today we're going to talk about a great way to activate those core muscles that's easy, that doesn't involve straining your back, so not doing any crunches or sit-ups, and it doesn't involve planks. It's just getting those muscle fibers in the core to activate, rewiring that connection between your core and your brain, and then from the brain back to the core. So today we're going to do an exercise that I like to call the marble core exercise. Dr. Connor is going to come over here right now to demonstrate this exercise. You will be laying flat on your back. We have an upper cervical table that we're using, but the floor would be good because it's something flat. And you really do want to feel the small movement in your core. And if you're on something flat, that prevents any give way to a softer surface like a mattress. The next thing you want to do is make sure that your pelvis is in a good position. So if you need to recenter your pelvis by lifting your hips up and sitting back down, that would be good. And then knees are slightly spread apart, but they're even with the hips. Feet are flat on the table, if you can see that here. So it's simple. All you need to do is imagine that there is a marble in your belly button here. And all you will do is try to push that marble down towards the pubic bone. And it's a very small movement. I'm not even sure that you would be able to see that on camera here, but it's just a small movement of pushing that marble down towards the pubic bone. You'll feel just a little bit of pressure right near the pubic bone, almost that start of you're tilting your pelvis or rocking your pelvis. However, it's all coming from the front. So a small movement. Be patient with yourself. You're not expecting big tilting in your pelvis. Once the marble is down in the pubic bone, you'll actually slowly bring it back towards the belly button. And then from the belly button, you'll pull the marble up towards the core. And by the core, I mean the lower rib cage there. And then from the lower ribs, back to the belly button. And from the belly button, back towards the pubic bone. So you'll go back and forth between these positions slowly. The key is to do this slowly because, again, you're rewiring that connection between your core and your brain. So all those small muscle movements are important, and making sure that you're actually recruiting the core is important. Again, you have to be patient when you're doing this exercise because it can be frustrating the first time you're doing this, especially if your core isn't always active. But this exercise is going to make it easier to activate your core. And you might even notice that throughout the day as you're standing, walking, moving around throughout the day, that your core is actually engaged, which can be very helpful, especially if you suffer from low back pain or a lot of instability in the spine. Even as you're lifting, reaching throughout the day, your core should be involved. And that's just going to help create more stability in your whole body, especially around the spine. So that's why working on the core is important. And anybody can do this exercise, again, just laying down on a flat surface. To start, I would recommend setting a timer on your phone for 2 minutes and just slowly going back and forth between those positions for 2 minutes. As you work up to it, you might be able to set a timer for 5 minutes and just go back and forth. There's more steps to this exercise, but this is the first part. And in order to activate your core, you need to be able to do this before actually benefiting from other intense core exercises. So this is part 1 of the marble core exercise. I'm Dr. Leigh at Transcend Chiropractic. This is my husband, Dr. Connor Davis. And if you have any questions about this video or questions for us, feel free to drop a comment or contact our office at 865-344-0955.